Alrighty, we should be live. Yep, it looks like we have a few attendees, so we'll go ahead and let people join in. Great. Yep, looks like people are joining in. Cool. Hi, everybody. My name is Jenna from Just Uno. Thank you for being here. I handle tech partner marketing and webinar production here at Just Uno. So thanks for joining us today. I am actually in Grand Rapids, Michigan today. So shout out to anybody in, I think we're the Midwest technically. So yeah, I would love to know where everybody else is joining us from. It looks like we have just a few people here. So Doug, Jerabai, Felipe, you guys want to chime in where you're joining from? And it looks like we have some people calling in. So obviously you won't be able to participate in the chat. But we'd love to know where in the world you are, because we may have, oh, Jerabai says, wow, nailed my name. Great, I was nervous about that one. Cool, so thanks for joining us today, guys. We are doing some live Just Uno training. So I know a lot of you have requested this. The time is here, we're doing it now, we're doing it today, and I'm super happy to be with one of our best account managers, Miranda Lee. So Miranda, hello. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and let us know where you are joining us from today.
Alrighty, hi guys. You probably know me from emails or whatever, but I am an account manager here at Just Uno. I have been at Just Uno almost 2 years now, and I am based in our Austin office. So I like to keep it weird.
So she can say y'all. And that's allowed.
Sorry, yeah, that's going to come out.
Cool. Thanks, Miranda. We are super excited to see all of your tips and tricks. Me too, because I feel like I'm constantly still learning the system. Oh, and also I wanted to mention, sorry, I almost forgot. Robbie, who is our VP of Customer Success, is on chat. So if you guys have at any time during the presentation questions, feel free to type those into the chat box. Robbie or myself will answer them. And additionally, we are having a Q&A period toward the end. So we'll take like 5 to 10 minutes toward the end, depending on what time we're at, and we'll answer some questions there. So before we get started, really quick, Miranda, I know you're itching to present, but I wanted to throw up a poll and just see what you guys are most excited about learning about today. So I realize we have just a few people in here, so it'd mean a lot if you guys can just share up and let me know what you're most interested in learning in. That way we can tailor these trainings better in the future and understand what features we need to focus on. So I'll go ahead and leave that up for a little bit. And Miranda, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you. Let's go ahead and turn off our video. I just wanted all of our customers to see that we're actual people, but so we can better focus on the presentation, let's nix the video and I will let you get to your slides.
Okay, thanks. All right, let me share my screen here. Is it working?
I don't see it yet. Oh, yep, there we go.
All right, perfect. Okay, and let's see. Trying to move this over. There we go. All right, guys, so if you're in this meeting, I am your dedicated account manager. Let's go ahead and we can start this slide here. Oh, look, it's our poll.
Yeah, sorry, I'm moving that.
You're good. Timing rules, new visitor. Okay, I like it. Cool. All right, we'll start this. Should be going good. Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned, I'm your dedicated account manager. Today, I'm going to run you through a general training session on how to utilize our platform to maximize the lead capture and sales conversion of our top 3 recommended promotions. We'll build these promotions out, talk about different options you have for these promotions, and work together to set them up and help boost your list growth and sales conversion rate today. The idea here is to start out with some context for using Just Uno's essential features and basic use cases that can drive the highest value and ROI immediately. You may know this already, but there are a lot of advanced use cases and features to be explored within Just Uno. Today's training is meant to ensure you have our most powerful promotions optimized first. So getting started, the promotions we're going to cover today essentially cover the top of the funnel and the bottom of the funnel, starting with targeting new traffic with an email pop-up. We're going to build this together for desktop, and I will quickly show you how to duplicate for mobile as well. Moving to the bottom of the funnel, we are going to build a cart abandonment offer. It's not email focused, but a huge sales conversion driver. This is powerful because it can target the user as soon as they're trying to leave, as opposed to a cart abandonment email. Lastly, we're going to be reinforcing your marketing messaging on site through the use of a targeted banner. We have a courtesy bar, which shows to visitors who have engaged with a welcome email capture promotion. And we will also review how to set up banners to target traffic sources such as Google and paid ads. This is something that you can easily set up with Just Uno. No need to work with a dev team. And if you ever need anything changed quickly, you can do it yourself. Moving on to our features and integrations. So this is essentially just a quick refresher. We're going to touch on some of the different features we offer with Just Uno, starting with the design canvas, which will take up most of our time today. Our design canvas is highly customizable. You can use your own fonts and branding. We use a full featured text editor, and you also have access to the source code for technical implementation. We'll just be going through the features relevant to today's promotions, but feel free to ask about anything in the chat section of this webinar. Moving on to segmentation. Basic rules are going to cover about 90% of your promotions use cases, but we will also touch on the advanced rules just so you're comfortable with them. With our integrations, we offer a couple different kinds, the most common being our form integration and data integrations. The form integrations are used to pass new subscriber data to your email service provider and are recommended over our simple integrations in step 3, which we're phasing out. Our data integrations are mostly connected automatically, the most commonly used of which is GA. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out via chat about that as well. Now, moving on to our visitor profiles, this is a very powerful feature that allows us to track visitors outside of cookies and cache and allows your targeting rules to be as effective and precise as possible. This is a feature unique to Just Uno, and we plan on doing a lot more development on that down the road as well. With that said, let's create our first promotion. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, move over here. So now we're going to build the new visitor promotion and our new promo wizard that we recently came out with. This setup wizard is easy to use. I'm not even sure I need to run you through it, but we'll do this together so I can point out some different things you can do with this feature. We're going to choose, I obviously already typed this in, the new visitor lead capture. Go ahead and hit get started. Now, you may be wondering why we would break these down into 2 different segments. We offer the 2 different segments for 3 reasons. Design, you can ensure both desktop and mobile are formatted for the larger and smaller screens that they're displayed on. Targeting rules, you would want to target different segments, mostly because of Google's mobile SEO policies. If you have any further questions about that, we can drop a blog post in the chat explaining in more detail.
That link right now, Miranda, so I will drop it in. So if you guys want to check out a further read, you can click on that link.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, customizing offers. So you may want to offer like a better deal to boost your mobile conversion rates. It just, separates it out. So you can use different coupon codes for that. So we're going to go ahead with the desktop since that's what we're building today. Moving on to step 2, here's where you can choose the size of the promotion. So we have a full screen, a center screen, banner, and corner. We're going to go ahead and select the center screen since that is our most common use case. Since we are capturing emails with this promotion, we're going to select the lead capture goal. The other option is what we call an unincentivized promotion, which is usually used for website messaging, and we'll actually cover that when we get to the cart abandoner. So hitting this, here you can quickly see the option for the 2-step versus 3-step. The 3-step is an additional yes or no question asking if they want a discount. We found this to help increase engagement rates, but I always suggest A/B testing yourself as every visitor base is different with your site. So for today, we're just going to choose standard. Moving on to step 4, we do have a number of pre-built designs over here. Again, this is fully editable. Oops, sorry. Notice you don't have to offer a discount, though this is what we find the most effective. So that's what we're going to use today. I'm just going to check this one because I think it's pretty. And moving on here, for today, I'm going to select the new visitor pre-built rule. This is fully editable later on, but so you're not stuck to it, but it's just a good jumping off point for right now. All right, this last screen is what I like to call the light canvas, where you can make text edits and background edits. This is really meant to be used when you have no access to a designer or are looking for rapid deployment of your promos. One thing I do want to point out is our integration with Unsplash, which gives you access to hundreds of copyright-free, high-resolution photography that can easily be placed into your promotions. And this is essentially a great way to touch up the promotions if you don't have a lot of high-resolution product photography or lifestyle shots. So from now,
I love this feature, Miranda. Sorry to cut you off. I think it's just a super easy win for those people who don't have, you know, extended resources to purchase stock or a big marketing team. That's a super easy go-to to make something look nice. So sorry, I just wanted to chime in.
No, thanks for chiming in there. So now we're going to go into the design canvas, and I can kind of show you a lot more. Now that we're on design canvas, this can be kind of described as a mix between Photoshop and PowerPoint. This left side is what we call our global options. You have your basic settings, which is where you can edit your promotion name. You can create a start date and time, an end date and time. Going on to our overlay settings, this is where you can determine the orientation of the promotion on the page, how it fires on the page, and you can choose to dim your website and choose the color and opacity of how dim it is. Lastly, if you added a background image either from Unsplash or your own image, it's good to note that we build these backgrounds to be responsive to screen sizes. So if someone, you know, changes the size of their browser, it'll be responsive to that. Also touching on the sizing of the pictures that you use, we found pixel sizes of your creative assets are not quite as important as the aspect ratio, which are generally 3:2. For pixels, our desktop templates usually run 700 pixels wide to 500 tall, and for mobile, about 320 wide by 460 tall. The main takeaway here is to design big and scale down, not vice versa. Additionally, our close buttons are a simple text layer. You can set them up as a classic X button just by typing in the letter X, or type in some no thanks style text. The layer itself is pretty flexible on what you want to do with it. I also want to quickly move into our CTA layers and a couple plugins that we offer. CTAs are pretty cool because you can essentially use it to link the user to another URL. You can also choose it to open a promotion that you may have built out at a different date, you know. These others are available as well, but these are kind of the main use cases. Moving into plugins, we offer this cool timer feature, which we will actually use in our banner promotion later. We also offer this spin to win feature down here, which we found to be very effective. I would suggest A/B testing this as well against a regular two-step pop-up because we've seen a lot of success with the spin to win kind of gamification feature. So popping out of here, I want to quickly move to the post-engagement screen in our coupon code layer. We highly recommend using our coupon code layer and not a text box for a few reasons. You can essentially upload your own unique codes that change, you know, obviously as the user gets the promotion. We have this cool auto apply feature, and we also have this copy to or click to copy feature. So I definitely suggest utilizing those. Moving back over into the pre-engagement screen. And then fun fact, since this is annoying me, this is how you can delete a layer. A lot of people, it's an easy thing. Oops. Okay, so moving on to our form integrations. Essentially, can I minimize this? There we go. You're going to simply click on the email field layer as I did and choose change form. From here, you'll be shown a list of our current form integrations. You can either find and connect your email service provider, any of these, or if you don't see it, you can drop in an HTML in this custom form option. I'm going to go through the HTML today just to show y'all what the form looks like, because I want to show y'all how to pass Justuno or other auto apply information as a source in a hidden field to your email service provider. Essentially, to do that, you can choose add new field. I'm just going to type in source, when I can spell, enter field. If you want to pass Justuno, you will essentially hit this. You're going to want to make sure your email is required and this field is hidden. And this will pass Justuno as your source. If you want to pass other auto-populated information, you can do so here.
And Miranda, sorry, can I ask a question on this?
Yeah.
Or can you give an example of when someone might use this? Is this, for example, like if none of the integrations are listed, then this can pass to a different type of integration, or what's the kind of use case here?
So the use case for this, I actually had somebody yesterday. It would be like, for example, if we want to pass the promotion name, get rid of this here, then say you're sending all of your collected Justuno emails to one list. By passing the promotion name, you can potentially have, events fire in your email service provider that pushes them to a different segment. So they get a different workflow. Does that make sense?
Got it. So then if you can understand, like, these people came from my free shipping offer, then you can funnel them into a very targeted marketing campaign. Okay.
And you can do the same with coupon code as well. So these are all pretty useful and are very commonly used, I feel like, with a lot of my clients.
Cool.
So gonna go ahead. Don't really need to see that form. Oh, one last note. There we go. That's what I was gonna tell you all about. You can essentially, you're not stuck with this submit wording. You can change to be different text. It's just a text layer. We've seen more possessive phrases such as like get my code to be more effective than basic phrases like join or submit. So I just wanted to touch on that. Moving on to our targeting rules, and we can just move it by clicking rules down here. You're obviously going to want to save. So going into here, since we selected the new visitor pre-built rule in the wizard, we can go straight to the rules page now and make any needed adjustments to this rule if desired. We generally cast a wide net when building these rules, though they all conform to our best practices. You may decide to show it on the second page load, continue to show it to a return visitor if they haven't engaged. We also suggest down here giving your promotion a 15 to 20 second delay, as we have found that time frame to be the most effective. Now that our promotion is finished, we're going to make sure we save the changes, but also publish. So anytime you save any changes, make sure you hit publish as well, because that's going to push the changes that you just saved to your site. Back on the promotions page, I will quickly show you how to duplicate for mobile. You're just gonna hit edit, duplicate, change this over. You can change this wording to say mobile. And then just go ahead and hit duplicate. It'll pop up. All you need to do is change the sizing of the layers to fit within the mobile template, but the integrations and rules will be duplicated from the last promotion. So it's a super easy way to just quickly create another mobile promotion that looks just like your desktop without having to completely design a new one.
And one note there, Miranda, I just wanted to add in that a lot of people always ask, like, why did you guys make those two experiences completely different? So why do you have to resize everything for mobile? Well, from a marketing standpoint, that's very important because you're really dealing with a lot less real estate on mobile. So it's really to prompt you as a smart marketer to nix any unnecessary text and get straight to the point. That can affect your mobile ranking as well. So we really just try to push people to consider that screen space and really be smart with what text and what what buttons are there. So just wanted to add that in.
Right, yeah. So, because we did get a lot of questions about that, and that is very important advice. So now moving on to our cart abandonment promotion. This promotion will target a segment of customers with the highest value. So it's definitely imperative to run one of these. This will also close the gap between the time a user would bounce from the cart and receive the email with the abandonment coupon, effectively eliminating any time for them to shop around with a competitor. If you are Shopify, we have easy options for you to set up cart tracking as well. Say if you wanted to show an exit offer to a certain level of customers, maybe they have like $100 in their cart, you can easily do that without any extra code. So at this time, we're going to go back to Just Uno and set up this cart abandonment promotion using our pre-built options, which are down here. And as you can see, these, we changed them to be based on the time of year, obviously it's summer now. So going to the cart abandonment right here, we're gonna go ahead and add this now. You can set this promotion up with basic rules, but I do want to show you a few more conditions that the advanced setup offers. So let's go ahead and go into rules. Alrighty. One thing I always like to mention is the ability to start with a basic rule, and then you can quickly configure what you want in these basic terms, and then move on to advanced and add your advanced only conditions from there. So see this switch to advanced mode right here, and it just easily takes you through. A few of the high level advanced conditions that I want to touch on are our geolocation, which is here. You can essentially target by a visitor's language settings, the country they're in, region, state, zip code. A lot of people will use this if they have multiple sites in different countries. Next, targeting specific pop-ups, and that'll be here. We essentially are going to dive into this a little deeper when we create our banner. Lastly, the cart value, let's see, the cart and past order rules. So, so I go ahead. So for those of you that are Shopify, you can start using these conditions right away, as mentioned. For others, you will need to implement a small snippet of JavaScript that not only allows you to target specific parameters, but also allows us to report cart abandonment metrics to you. And we'll drop an article in chat now with that snippet of JavaScript and kind of to explain in more detail how to do that. I also want to mention quickly the difference between our and or operators. For example, when including or excluding multiple URLs in a promotion, you're going to want to put them in their own rule set, just like this. And you will use an or condition if you're using contains, and an and condition and does not contain if you are trying to exclude. So that's how that'll look, and I just wanted to throw that in real quick. Back to our rules page, I do want to emphasize that in most cases, you should only have one targeting rule per promotion. If you ever want to edit your rule, you can choose action and edit right here and go back into the rule that you previously built, and then can add conditions from there. To clarify, what we just built was what we call an unincentivized offer, where there is no user action taken to get the discount. This is an alternative option from when we were creating the lead capture earlier. Moving on to our banners. Go ahead and present again. Right here. So this is the third and final use case I want to talk about today, how to utilize our banners. We will start with reinforcing off-site marketing by targeting users coming from email, social ads, or paid ads. We can jump over to the basic rules to show you how simple this is to utilize. Jump back and forth. All right. So this is where we're going to target via UTM, and I can quickly show you how to do so. All right, so you can simply track users coming from these ads via UTM parameters set up here. We found this to be extremely effective, and I suggest you utilize this feature if you do run any Facebook, Google ads, or email campaigns. You can even narrow down by campaign name or any UTM parameter that you set for your promotions. Going back out here, last but not least, I will quickly show you how to set up a courtesy bar after someone engages with your welcome email capture. We're just going to have a simple banner for this. I'm going to use the same coupon code that we used in the welcome email capture. Then I'm going to add a timer, which is, remember, under these plugins. Essentially, we suggest utilizing timers to create a sense of urgency in the user and to essentially convince them to check out within that session. Now to set up the rules for this, it's super easy and it doesn't take very long to do this. So I definitely suggest, if you're going to have a welcome email capture, to just quickly set this up. So all you're going to do is choose has not closed. Let's see. Right here. Has not ever closed. Oh, yeah, let me pop up. And, or wait, this pop up, my bad. These are so long. There we go. Close this pop up this visit. Have not. Then we're going to add has engaged specific pop up, which we will do our new visitor lead capture. And that is all you have to do. You're going to want to change once every page. And this is exactly what it should look like.
That's really great, Miranda. Sorry, I just wanted to chime in here. I know we had a few people chime in earlier, say they have new visitor offers already set up. Mm-hmm. So that's great. For those of you that already have them set up, I would encourage you to implement something like this today, because that's something, if you're already seeing success and good capture rates, this is an optimization tip for you. So that's something you can automatically do right after this webinar.
Right, and it's super quick also. So in conclusion, just to give you a few more metrics to go by, if you are an e-commerce store running an incentivized lead capture promotion, you should be getting between 3 and 5% engagement or more. And that's where you can find this here. We give you these nice little percentages. If you are running a unlocked or unincentivized promotion, somewhere between 1 and 2% is healthy. And then brands that actively try to sell a lifestyle, think Pura Vida or Fashion Nova, will have a naturally higher engagement rate. So just to give you a quick recap of what we built today, we created a welcome email offer for both mobile and desktop to cover the top of the funnel, then a cart abandonment promotion to target the bottom. Then we moved on to quickly create a banner targeting users coming from paid ads and email campaigns. And finally created a courtesy bar to incentivize the user to utilize their coupon code after engaging with the welcome email option. Those are our 3 major use cases that will help you utilize Justuno as effectively as possible. We can open chat up right now to answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Miranda, for reviewing all of that stuff. Jerabai says he needs to slow motion some of those targeting rules, and that's understandable because there are a lot, especially in our advanced rule section. So Jerabai, we will have a recording sent out, and that goes to all of everybody who's attending today. You guys can review this and take some time to rewatch it and, you know, pause and do step by step. And then once you do it once, you're going to have it down in no time. So don't worry about that. If anybody has any questions, let's go ahead and open it up. I realize there are a few people here. So Doug, I know you asked a question. I just got your email showing your screen and what you're experiencing. So I will address your question via email about the custom HTML. Does anybody else have any questions?
I do want to mention as well quickly in regards to the advanced rules in our support portal, which is you can access by this green question mark right here and go to the self-help section. You can actually, we have a whole walkthrough of all of our advanced conditions. So it shows you everyone that we have, and then essentially tells you what they do. So instead of kind of being overwhelmed just looking at them, you can definitely go to that article and kind of read through them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good tip. I had to do that myself recently with the geo-targeting one, and it was pretty helpful. Great. Well, I will leave it open for a couple more minutes. If Philippe, Jerbai, Doug, Bick, Aaron, if you guys have any questions to submit, we'd love to answer them. Now's your chance. You've got us on live. Okay, it doesn't seem, Philippe says no, but thank you. Okay, I hope you guys found this information helpful. So Miranda, it doesn't look, okay, Jeremiah says, I'm good with what was taught so far. Great, thanks Jeremiah, glad you learned something. Thanks for participating. And Doug says, I will have lots once I digest. Okay, Jeremiah wants to say, can we get into A/B testing? I know he mentioned in the chat earlier that he is running some A/B tests, so he gets bonus points for doing that. But let's talk about A/B testing and really the importance of doing that. I think maybe that is, Miranda, would you suggest that as an optimization step? Like if people already have their offer set up, right? So the number one offer we recommend is your new visitor. The number two offer that we recommend is your cart abandonment. So once you guys have those set up, do you think it's best to do an A/B test and then start playing around with stuff, or what has your experience been, Miranda?
So I mean, my opinion on that is you should always be A/B testing. It, can definitely never hurt. Everybody's site is different, right? Some people might have an older like visitor base that's coming to their site, and then some people may have a younger, and that will change how they will react to different promotions. So that's why, we definitely have data that the intro screen is more effective, that the spin to win is more effective, but your site could be different. So for example, like this intro versus no intro, it's super easy to set up. Here we go. I usually suggest to run about a minimum of 2 weeks as well. So that makes sure that you get enough data and that you can determine more accurately how the which promotion is winning, sorry. And with this too, we've kind of made it where you can do an ABC test now, which is interesting. And you can also change the weight. We also just included this where you can add a control test as well. So I definitely just always A/B test, and we have a lot of blog articles on case studies that we've done, and you can kind of scroll through those and find what we found works, and then utilize it on your site and see if it works for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's really important to consider, your audience is going to be different than someone else's. So don't always assume that one offer that's working, even for a competitor, will work for you. I was just talking to one of our account managers yesterday, and one of our clients wanted to do an A/B test between a center pop-up and a banner, because in his mind, he thought the center pop-up was more intrusive on the shopping experience. And that was his personal opinion. So he said, you know what, let's set up a test. I want to know for sure and let the data speak. And what he found is that the center pop-up was getting not only more engagement, but more conversions. So while he saw it as intrusive, the data in the A/B test proved him wrong. So that's just a story to tell you guys. If you have a doubt, set up a test and let the numbers speak for itself.
Right.
Let's see. Jeremiah says, I ran a few for only 1 week, but we had 212 and 325 engagements. Should I try to get more?
I mean, that's just up to you. As Robbie just said, it just kind of maximizes your reliability and just gives you more data to use and to decipher from.
Mm-hmm. So I know Miranda, you mentioned maybe like running something for 2 weeks. So maybe that would be a recommendation to change Jerebai is the time amount that you're running it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and some people do it longer too. I just usually suggest the minimum to be for 2 weeks, just because we want to make sure that you get as much data as possible to get a clear representation.
Yeah, like the use case I just mentioned about the customer that was running a center pop-up between a bar, he ran his for 30 days, a month.
Yeah, right.
And then he felt confident and sure because he was so sure that it was the other way around. But yeah, I think that's a good time amount if you can wait that long. And Robbie says, I would say focus more on the differences between the engagement and conversion rates themselves, as opposed to the raw number of impressions or engagement.
Right.
Cool. Okay, well, thanks for bringing that topic up, Jerebai. Does anyone else have any lingering questions? I know that we are a little past half an hour, so we could take maybe like 5 more minutes if you guys have questions. If not, we can wrap up.
And to touch on what Jerebai just said, I was seeing a clear winner within a week. If you would have run it 2 weeks, you could have seen something different. So that's why, you could happen to have 1 week where one just does better. And if you run, for a good solid 2 weeks or more, then it just gives you more time to kind of see them fluctuating and kind of racing each other.
Yeah. And now that you guys, I just had another thought too, and this might be obvious to those of you who are on this webinar, I'm not sure, but you also need to consider at what point you're running your A/B tests in the sense of seasonality. So if you start running something like in a high traffic season, then your numbers are going to look different than, for example, if you have a really high shopping volume, obviously during like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, then that data will not compare to I don't know, March or when you have slower sales. So just consider your seasonality as well. Okay. Great. It looks like, sorry, Robbie, did you maybe wanted to say something? I'm not sure. Jerebai says, great tips. Thank you. All right. I guess we can go ahead and wrap up if nobody else has any questions. As a reminder, Jerebai says, I'm good, guys. Sorry, I thought we had an hour. No, that's okay. I mean, I think we planned for an hour, but our goal was to get the slides done within around 30 minutes. So if there are no more questions, then we will be emailing the recording out to everyone. And Robbie just dropped Miranda's email address there. Fred says, will this be available as a download? We will email it to you guys. And then Jerebai says, any best practices or use case for mobile pop-ups? So Jerebai, we linked up to an article a little bit ago. I'll drop that link again. But Miranda, if you want to add anything extra there.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely staying within the Google's SEO limits would be important when it comes to sizing of the promotion and the rules you're going to set for it. So a few options mentioned there. You can always have an Uno bar fire on the first page, or you can have what we call is a tab that can fire just on the side of the promotion. I can pull that up here. And essentially that will fire on the first page load. And then when the user gets to the second page load, they will see right here, they'll see the pop-up. So that's kind of what it explains in the blog post that Jenna just dropped. Yep. And so the user can essentially, if they were to click that tab on the first page load, then it's not counted against you because they're engaging themselves. Other than that, targeting with mobile, as mentioned before, you may have a higher number of users coming to your site via mobile. So, you may want to offer a completely different promotion. You can definitely A/B test that as well. You can also offer a sweeter deal for those people. So there's a few different things that you can utilize with it, but I would definitely say, staying within the Google's SEO practices, and then just kind of knowing your visitor base and what percentage of your customers are coming to mobile.
Yeah, I think that's good. That makes me think back to your recommendation, Miranda, to target offers toward UTM parameters. So if you guys are if you're running Facebook ads and you're seeing a lot of, or your ads are converting better on mobile, then for example, you might really want to tailor your mobile offer to that ad campaign.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That as well. So Jeremiah said for the second page load, you can do a full screen. So it doesn't matter. They're only kind of pinging you for how much you're covering on the first page load.
Yeah, good question. And then for that also kind of reminds me about offer design on desktop. So one of my favorite recommendations that Robbie has actually given me is for a targeted banner or a bar design to place that on the bottom. Not saying you have to do that across the board, but placing your bar on the bottom allows you to play with the height. So you can actually put a lot more information there as well. It doesn't compete with your navigation. So you don't really have too much going on in a visual sense. Like everything's not piled up there at the top. So that's really one recommendation he's made to me before that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremiah says, brilliant, Robbie. He is pretty brilliant. Cool. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? All right. It looks like crickets. Great. Well, guys, I think that wraps it up. Thanks again for participating, for joining. I have to pat you all on the back for taking time out of your day to train. And I think it's really great that you cut out 45 minutes of your day to better your knowledge on our tool. So we're always looking to improve. Please send us feedback. Robbie dropped Miranda's address there, email address. If you have any questions for me, you can also shoot me an email, and I will be sending everyone the recording. So again, you'll have a chance to review the information, and yeah, we'd love to hear what you thought about it, if you'd like to do more of these in the future, everything like that. So Miranda, thanks for your time and sharing your knowledge with us today.
No problem. Thanks
Cool.
for coming, guys.
Alrighty, thanks everybody, and we will see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye, guys.